Greetings, salutations. Welcome to this midday power surge, Tuesday, September 13th, 2022. This is your spiritual oasis on this pilgrim journey. Safe to Serve International, first-time viewers, welcome one, welcome all to this midday power surge. I'm your host, Andrew Henriquez. Friends, we're going to be addressing this great theme that final movements are indeed rapid ones. And we were told that this would be the case in the last days of this earth's history. Last movements are going to be rapid. All right, friends, let's get right into it. And again, my friends, if I were you, I would call someone, text someone, send someone an email, go into a room and wake someone up for midday power surge. Very, very important, brothers and sisters. All right. We are told in 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse number 10, the love of money is the root of all evil. Don't forget that. And this is also connected to false worship. So false worship is going to have its foundation in a diabolical financial system. I hope you heard me correctly. And this is what Satan did to Christ in Matthew chapter 4, verse 8 and verse number 10. All these things will I give unto you, the things of the world, the glory of them, if you fall down and worship me. Number one, Satan had the control of all the materials, all the commodities, the kingdoms of the earth, all the merchandise of the world. Then what did he use that to do? The Bible says that he used it to compel Christ to fall down and worship. Since Christ got the victory, we can also get victory. Do I hear an amen? All right, brothers and sisters, victory is ours. And as Satan wrought upon Christ, he will also work through the papacy, the allies of the papacy, to do a similar work in these last days. That's why we're told in Proverbs 22 and verse number 7. We're told that the borrower is servant to the lender. Worship, my friends, captivity, economic slavery. With that in mind, beloved, are we ready for the coming new world order?
I would say the very survival of how governments will be in the future. So most important summit, because it's looking at all aspects of government. And we are also looking at the future. For example, this morning when the topic was on the New World Order, this is something that will touch everybody, and we should all be involved in it, because whether we like it or not, the New World Order will dictate how things go.
Next.
And the title of this session, are we ready for a new world order?
Are we ready? That's the question. Are we ready? And notice, friends, next, what underpins the New World Order? Yes, friends, a diabolical financial system.
And it's not about the U.S. versus China. It's about what underpins a world order is always the financial system. I was very privileged. My father was an advisor to Nixon when they came off the gold standard in '71. And so I was brought up with a kind of inside view of how very important the financial structure is to absolutely everything else. And what we're seeing in the world today, I think, is we are on the brink of a dramatic change where we are about to, and I'll say this boldly, we're about to abandon the traditional system of money and accounting and introduce a new one. And the new one, the new accounting, is what we call blockchain. It means digital. It means having a almost perfect record of every single transaction that happens in the economy, which will give us far greater clarity over what's going on. It also raises huge dangers in terms of the balance of power between states and citizens. In my opinion, we're going to need a digital constitution of human rights if we're going to have digital money. But also, this new money will be sovereign in nature. Most people think that digital money is crypto and private, but what I see are superpowers introducing digital currency. The Chinese were the first. The US is on the brink, I think, of moving in the same direction. The Europeans have committed to that as well.
And friends, look at the date, April 1st. Date is significant, of course, when this was published. Why would we need another, or may I say, another constitution called a digital constitution? Well, because it is evident a US CBDC, central bank digital currency, would trample upon our social, financial, physical, mental, and spiritual liberties. It's called blockchain. You remember I gave you a spin on this several days ago. This is economic slavery. All right. And we know what's coming. It's connected to the Sunday law crisis. What is the man of sin calling for? There it is. A new economic order. And since it's global, we can put the word in. New world economic order. That's it. Look at this, my friends, fresh off the press. What did the Fed Reserve Chairman say several days ago? He stated, we're never going back to the old economy. Never, he said, my friends. And what's the reason? He made it clear that the pestilence 19 crisis has caused us to draw this conclusion. Listen to this. He doubled down on his remarks that the economy as we know it is over. It's over, my friends. It's over. Red words. We're not going back to the same economy. Don't forget this. We will cover it later on. We're going back to a different economy. And he mentioned then, blue words, the pandemic. We're not going back. And brothers and sisters, whose words are also promoting this movement? Pope Francis, he calls for a new economic model post-pestilence 19 global crisis. That's it, my friends. Remember what the papist said. Prepare the future. Not prepare for the future. Prepare the future. And brothers and sisters, I believe why the Fed Reserve Chairman, Jerome Powell, the Pope of Rome, and others can make these public, arrogant, braggadocious, not humble statements is because they are the same ones who create the crises, then publish and promote their diabolical policies. There it is. You remember I covered this several days ago? The future is being built by us. You remember on July 4th, 2022, when I covered this, they are the ones that created the crises. That's why they can predict these things with accuracy. Because you're the one who orchestrated it in the first place. Look at this, my friends, fresh off the press. You remember the Biden's executive order? Headline, his executive order on ensuring responsible development of digital assets. When was that published? March 9th. Everybody put that date down. March 9th, 2022. Look at the bottom left of your screen. What did that executive order promote? CBDCs, central bank digital currencies. That's it right there. And brothers and sisters, Notice, the president said to the Fed Reserve Chairman, the U.S. Treasury, bring forth a legislation within 210 days. Brothers and sisters, they have done it before 210 days. Look at this. Remember, a bipartisan group of U.S. lawmakers want the Federal Reserve to get more serious about issuing a digital dollar. It states, headline, lawmakers ask Fed to speed up CBDC project. Look at this, my friend. What is March 9th, 2022 to September 13th, 2022? That is not 210 days. It's not. It's approximately 189 days. The man said, bring forth that proposal, legislation within, he was accurate, 210 days. They have done it way before 210 days. That's why we are told, my friends, the final movements will be what? Rapid ones. Rapid ones, my friends. They are combining their forces. Yes, they are. They are consolidating. They are strengthening for the last great crisis. And what is that last great crisis? It is the Sunday law, the mark of the beast. That's what it is, my friends. Listen, rapid movements. Here is Jerome Powell. Listen as he speaks of rapid changes.
Looking forward, rapid changes are taking place in the global monetary system that may affect the international role of the dollar in the future. Most major economies already have or are in the process of developing instant 24/7 payments. Our own FedNow service will be coming online in 2023. And in light of the tremendous growth in crypto assets and stablecoins, we are examining whether a U.S. central bank digital currency would improve upon what is an already safe and efficient domestic payment system. As our white paper on this topic notes, a U.S. CBDC could also potentially help maintain the dollar's international standing.
My friends, are they moving based on Satan's timetable? Yes, they are. Look at this now. I've been saying fresh off the press, hot off the press. Here it is. So what was the recommendation that the president was asking for within 210 days? Did they say do not implement, do not put forth, design a CBDC? It's the contrary. September 9th, 2022. Headline, Treasury to recommend issuing digital dollar. Red words. It intends to recommend the federal government begin moving toward developing a digital dollar. That's it, my friends. That's it. And now they're talking about, does Congress have the power, the authority to issue the U.S. CBDC? Next, they're also considering, will SCOTUS be asked to rule if the president alone can authorize the U.S. CBDC? Of course, without congressional approval, the vote of Congress. That is the issue right now. And my friends, notice, the U.S. CBDC, we're told, is backed by the Pope of Rome. It's nothing new. It's right there. Nothing new. They were contemplating this publicly in the year 2020, March of that year, for the pestilence 19 stimulus package. monies to families. There it is, my friends. And notice the men who were taking the lead on this. These men are connected to the Jesuit Pope of the Roman Catholic Church. There they are, my friends, along with the Speaker of the House. That's the proof. I've covered this before. There it is, my friends. CBDC. That's it. Clear connection, friends, for those who want to see it. It's here. Time is almost finished. And that's why we're told in Revelation 18, verse 2, that speaks about Babylon. Babylon, the papacy. Chapter 17, verse 5 and verse 6. Babylon, friends, the papacy. And she is connected with the merchants of the earth. That's verse 3 of Revelation chapter 18. There it is, my friends. The congregation for the doctrine of the faith. They're all connected with the CBDC. There it is, friends. All connected. There it is. Backed by the Jesuit Pope. And now we're seeing Roman Catholic principles will be taken under the care and protection of the state. This national apostasy will speedily be followed by national ruin. And that is specifically talking about the Sunday law crisis. But remember, the Sunday law crisis is connected to a diabolical financial system. Both will be taken under the care and protection of the United States' three branches of government. Headlines and news reports are now telling us we need to be intently concerned about the US CBDC. There it is, my friends. There it is. Here is why you should be very worried. The headline states, if the US were to adopt a CBDC like the one discussed in Biden's executive order, what would happen? Listen, friends. It states, we're in grave danger as businesses, individuals, of losing our social and economic freedoms. All right? Please, friends, understand what this means. It states the US CBDC is actually an attack on our liberties. Red words. It would be easy for banks and government agencies to track the CBDC dollars and the people using them. Yes, unlike printed US dollars available today. Again, listen.
The United States might be on the brink of creating a digital dollar.
It's no longer might be. It is now recommended. Full steam ahead.
The United States might be on the brink of creating a digital dollar. In March, President Biden signed an executive order tasking federal agencies with exploring crypto regulations, including the development of a central bank digital currency.
President Biden will sign this executive order today. Now, this order calls understanding how a central bank digital currency might work urgent.
Yes, we have a great grasp on how it's going to work. Yes, stripping away our freedoms. Next, March 9th.
When you don't have control over your finance, you are not free.
Another concern, lack of privacy. According to the Bank of International Settlements, in order for CBDCs to ensure transparency and combat illicit activities, full anonymity is not plausible.
Oh, so now it makes sense as we connect the dots. The Constitution is to preserve our privacy, our rights, our liberties. No wonder the opening video stated, we're going to need a digital constitution in America. Why? The US CBDC will trample underfoot our freedoms. Next.
CBDCs can also be programmed and personalized to only be spent on specific items or within a limited time frame. This function is called programmability.
Say a government wants to distribute aid to people after a natural disaster, right? So in theory, the way programmable money would work is okay, so I'm distributing this aid and you can only use this money for food or clothing or medicine, but you can't use it to go buy cigarettes. But the other side of that, I think, which people are concerned about is can you use that programmable money to block certain people out of the financial system or restrict their freedom in some way? I think that makes a lot of people very deeply uncomfortable.
My friends, the signs are here. They are here. And now I'm going to share with you the CBDC the US has now put in place. It's now recommended by the US Treasury as well as by the Federal Reserve. Now, let me pause right there. Do we not know, based on history, the aims and goals, objectives of the Federal Reserve, the central banking system? It is simply to destroy the freedoms and enslave the population of every single nation. So do you think that based on that clear factual history of the Federal Reserve central banking system, a US CBDC will preserve and guarantee freedoms? If you still believe that, you're drinking something very strong. And I'm not talking about drinking golden seal tea. I'm not talking about drinking some aloe vera juice. You're drinking something very strong. I'm not speaking about Cersei or ginger tea. You're drinking something very strong. You are drunk with Babylon's wine. Let me come back here, friends. All right? And I praise God that many of you can understand where we are. It is not to preserve and ensure freedoms, but to further restrict, suppress, and oppress God's people and the population. Back to my point, the US CBDC, we're told, is now being put in place to combat climate change. What's the connection? I'll show you. There it is, my friends. It states the CBDC and other policies governing the digital assets must mitigate climate change and pollution. How are these things connected? Look at this now. Do you recall? Several weeks ago, even days, I showed in Italy, in Asia, different countries, they were implementing their digital wallet. And they connected with that climate-friendly behavior. You remember that? You do. Yes, I'm telling you, you do. Amen. All right, friends. And remember, in other words, those individuals who go along with the policies to combat climate change, they are the ones that will benefit in the new digital economy. But what about those who refuse to go along with many of their key policies to combat climate change? What will happen to them? They would not be accommodated, but will be treated as pariahs, cut off from the new digital economy, the US CBDC. Let me confirm now. Here it is, my friends. That's it. To modify behavior. That's it. The new digital economy. Headline, climate-friendly behavior. That's it, my friends. We covered that. There it is. Virtuous behavior. You get points if you go along with the agenda. Or what happens? You cannot receive benefits. Yes. That's it, friends. It's all there. That's the connection. Central bank digital currency connected to climate-friendly behavior. All right, friends. The handwriting is on the wall. That's it. And watch, it was to go into effect September 2022 in the country, the nation of Italy. All right. It's here. You remember this acronym, MOZ, MAAWS, using money as a weapon system. Money as a weapon. The signs are here, my friends. And as we continue to dig deeper, we'll also see the US CBDC is also being promoted by the leaders of the labor unions. What is the connection? There it is, friends. It's clear. It says the Biden administration promised that in creating a new digital currency, the administration will continue to partner with all stakeholders, such as labor, such as environmental groups. We will say, so what's the big deal? How can professed SDA Christians ask that question? What's the big deal? Friends, the world is asking the question in red words. Why would labor unions and the others, even environmental groups, be involved in the development of a new currency, CBDC? Unless, of course, there is a plan to program that currency to advance various causes special interest groups care about. Now talk to me, those of you who are alive. What are we told about trade unions, workers' unions, labor unions? Will they be peaceful or oppressive? Will they be calling for sunder rest by law? You're seeing it, friends. So the sunder rest by law agencies, movements are also promoting the US CBDC. Look at this, my friends. There it is. In 1888, the Sunder Law making its way through the US Congress. Who was also spearheading it? The Knights of Labor Sunder Rest Bill. Popery is also a leader for the unification of the labor unions with church leaders and state leaders. Do you know why? It's a grassroots movement. And it's the people that would declare Sunday rest by law to combat the various ills in society. There it is. Rerum Novarum. The Pope's encyclical. The state must enforce Sunday. Yes, of course, by law, of course, to make sure workers have a day of rest and a day for their religion. That's it right there, friends. That's it. And we're told the labor unions will be very oppressive. The trade unions, the agencies, some of them, that will bring upon this earth a time of trouble such as not been since the world began. Yes, since the world began. Now listen to Mr. David Adonfalto. His response is very bizarre. Watch this, my friends. He stated, when he was asked this question, by the way, who is David Adonfalto? A senior vice president and economist in St. Louis Fed Reserve Division. He was asked, quote, can the Federal Reserve assure the public, the people, that these CBDCs won't ever be used to tell us when, to tell us how, to tell us where our money can be spent? His response, quote on top, blue words, in life, one can't give absolute assurances of anything. The best we can hope for is for Congress to respond to the electorate's concerns about privacy. Now, the commentary. If the Fed has no plan to use a future central bank digital currency to control Americans' behavior, Adonfalto's response is incredibly bizarre, to say the least. It is clear the White House, the Fed, are working together to create a controllable, traceable, programmable digital currency. And if they are successful, life in America might never be the same. It won't be the same. For great changes are soon to take place in our world, and the final movements will be rapid ones. Based on what I just quoted, it is a fulfillment of Revelation 13. Here it is, my friends. Verse 2. The papacy receive great authority. Verse 11. Verse 15. The United States of America forms an image to the papacy. So what does it mean to have great authority? It will be seen in America. Matthew 8 verse 9, they will tell you, go, you must go or else. Come, you must come or else. Do this, you must do it or else. Or may we add, spend the money when or else. Spend the money at this time or else. Spend the money this way or else. You can only go here or else. Brothers and sisters, it's here. Listen to this now. This is no longer future. It's present. Release it.
What about the United States? Will we be moving to anything like this?
Okay, hold on.
As a matter of fact, I have here...
Give me some audio.
What about the United States? Will we be moving to anything like this?
Well, as a matter of fact, I have here... The Federal Reserve just issued this last month. It's called the Money and Payments, the U.S. dollar in an age of digital transformation. As you can see, it's not short. The U.S. is moving this direction. It's not going to happen right away, but we are moving in that direction.
Real quick, don't want to sound alarmist. This sounds like end time stuff, is it?
It is. And I'm the last person to get second coming fever. But in the book of Revelation, we see these verses in Revelation 13. The beast, also forced all people, great and small, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hands or on their foreheads, so that they could not buy or sell unless they had the mark, which is the name of the beast or the number of its name. So the idea is there that with government control of digital currency, if they take you out of the system, you're gone.
My friends, we have been preaching, we have been studying, we have been sharing with individuals this fact. Based on prophecy, America must undergo a transformation. Okay. Stripping away our rights. That's Revelation 13, verse 11. It speaks about a beast with lamb-like horns. Amen. But that beast with lamb-like horns will speak as a dragon. Verse 12. Forcing people to worship on Sunday according to the first beast, in verse 1 through verse number 10. Then verse 15 through verse number 17 mentions an economic, financial, oppressive system. Before the Sunday law takes place, before that second transformation takes place, from freedom of worship to no freedom of worship, except you worship on Sunday. There must be a first step transformation in the financial system. And this is what this speaker just said. I'll give you the first seconds of the clip. Listen again.
What about the United States? Will we be moving to anything like this?
Well, as a matter of fact, I have here... The Federal Reserve just issued this last month. It's called the Money and Payments, the U.S. dollar in an age of digital transformation. As you can see, it's not short.
It. An age of what? In an age of digital transformation, CBDC. So if we know, there are going to be only two steps, as it were, only two steps. The love of money, oppression, and the Sunday law. If you see America has just taken the first of two steps, why doubt the second step is near? That's Matthew 4, verse 8 to verse 10. He said 210 days. They gave him the recommendation within 210. 188 days, 189 days. That's where we are, friends. Now, let me segue and cover this. Now I'm going to address the Pope's mistress. Yes, Pope Francis does have a mistress. Why do I say that? This is the same mistress I shared several months ago as a Jesuit insider. Now, she's not a Jesuit, but on the inside. Why? She made some significant predictions. And to date, every single one has come to pass. Starting from 2020, the election up to this point, bullseye each time with her predictions. Insider. And of course, do you know why? Because she is also involved with the others in creating the crises. Back to my point. Now, she mentioned in the year 2023, America, even the world, will wake up to a new economic financial system. She's right. Because now America has now approved the digital currency, the central bank, CBDC. She's correct again. Brothers and sisters. Now, please, one quick qualification, lest you think I'm trying to exhort her. I'm not calling her some prophetess. I'm showing you what their agenda is. Look to the screen now, friends. There it is. Headline, Pope Francis' heart. Mariana Mazzucato, the Pope's mistress. That's it. Let us dream? You mean a nightmare? There it is, my friends. And notice, the Pope quotes her. And she also quotes the Pope. They're good bedfellows. Same agenda, brothers and sisters. Same agenda. There it is. You can pause the video and read that. Let me move on. It's called a mission economy. Headline from Time Magazine. And we know Time Magazine is a propaganda media outlet. Headline, it's 2023. Here is how we fixed the global economy. Now, brothers and sisters, we're about 3 to 4 months removed from 2023, right? In this calendar year. Now, notice carefully, friends. Notice. Now she will mention words are shared from the Federal Reserve Chairman, Jerome Powell, as well as the Pope of Rome. What are they reading from? Yes, the same script. I'm telling you, the same teleprompter. Look at this right here. Blue words on top. First line in the paragraph. And so, we stand here in 2023. By the way, this was written in 2020, right? And so we stand here in 2023. The same people, but in a different society. All right, let's read on. Next sentence. The pestilence 19 pandemic convinced us we could not go back to business as usual. I'm going to confirm that. Allow me to read on. The world has embraced a new normal. When? 2023. Listen now. The pestilence 19 pandemic took so much from us in lives lost and livelihood shattered. So what did she use as the premise? That we cannot go back to business as usual? The pestilence 19 pandemic. Let's read on. It says now, but it also presented us with an opportunity to reshape our global economy. Last sentence. To secure a better future. Don't forget future. Better future for all. It was the only thing to do. Let's put the nails now in their coffin. And when I'm finished, there won't be any more space. in their proverbial coffin for more nails. The next thing is to lower their coffin and put them 6 feet under. Look at this, my friends. There it is. Headline: we are never going back to the old economy. Do you see it, friends? Same words. Same exact words. The economy as we know it is over. We're not going back to the same economy. We're going to a different economy. Blue words. And what did the Fed Reserve Chairman use as the excuse? The pestilence 19 pandemic. Let's move on. What's the headline? The man of sin now says, watch carefully, he's calling for a new economic model. Model. Same word. Model. Why? After what time? After the pestilence 19 global crisis. They're all saying the same. Prepare the future. That's it, brothers and sisters. Nails in their coffins. And now, back to the Pope's mistress. Now, she stated, this new global economy has in it pauperism. Look at this now. In the summer of 2022, the other major crisis of our age took a turn for the apocalyptic. And now she's mentioning climate change. And friends, we have been covering those calamities, not seldomly, but ad nauseum. Yes, we're seeing them, friends. Listen now, she says, blue words, people woke up to the need for governments to form a coordinated response to climate change. And what? Direct global fiscal stimulus. Watch this now. Then she said, 2023 and beyond, look out for the rise of the entrepreneurial state. What is that? Friends, an entrepreneur state, the government now is going to be the one that hoards and controls every commodity, merchandise, utility in the world, in America. And for the people to receive livelihood, they must bow the knee to the government. Pauperism. And that's why it makes sense, as we covered yesterday during Midday Power Surge, the year is 2030. We own nothing, and we're happy. Beloved, if the people, not if, since the people will own nothing, who will own everything? The entrepreneurial state. The state, well, that's all right. No, not all right. Because based on prophecy, which church reigns over the kings of the earth? Revelation chapter 18, verse 17, verse number 1 to verse number 6. It is the papacy, the entrepreneurial church, the entrepreneurial church and state union. That's the global CBDC. And remember, the CBDC is backed by the Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith, which is the Roman Catholic Church's Board of the Inquisition. I covered that. Get back here. That's it. People now have to bow to the government to work. That's where we are, my friends. Now, I'm going to say this. We're told the project is inspired by the work of Mariano Mazzucato, who is one of Pope Francis's favorite readings in the field. Look at the headline on Facebook right there, friends. The Economy of Francesco, the global event, September 22nd, 23rd, 24th. That's it, 2022. That's it. And which two prominent leaders with clout are being exhorted the Pope and his mistress. All right, look at the blue words now. It states, as followers of Pope Francis's call, we aim for the resignification of the economic system. Beloved, come on, hand me the brush. Let's paint a picture here. Beloved, since the Sunday law is connected with a financial system, you can't buy or sell except you bow. That means any economic system that is going to track, trace, and surveil its population has to be connected with Jesuit popery. Does it make sense, friends? Does it make sense? Has to be connected. The dots must connect. Big picture. What are they promoting? That new economy. All right. Now, friends, I'm going to close on this point. As I put on the spiritual spectacles that has the Lord's anointing oil on it. All right. I saw a particular phrase that was of great interest to me. And what is that phrase, you may ask? Beloved, they're telling us the U.S. Central Bank digital currency is going to be implemented now because, quote, it is in America's national interest. National interest, end quote. When I saw that, friends, I have read the books and I'm still reading the books, the Bible, and the books in the library of Ellen White. I remember reading the Sunday law is going to be enforced in America first on this foundation. Sunday law is for America's national interest. The cry, the clamor for a Sunday law will reach a national interest. And brothers and sisters, it was as if the Lord said, wipe your eyes. And I did. Yes. Wipe your eyes. Look closer, deeper. Now you're seeing CBDC will be enacted because it is in America's national interest. Sunday law is coming on the same preface, same foundation for America's national interest. Now I have piqued your interest for the phrase national interest. Ready for it now? Are you ready? Look at this. Fresh off the press, September 9th, 2022. Listen, the establishment of a government-created digital token compatible with the cryptocurrency marketplace would occur if either Congress or executive branches of government, all right, deemed them to be, quote, of the national interest. Let me correct that. Congress or executive branch would deem the CBDC as a national interest. Next source, friends, different media outlet, Washington Examiner, Yahoo. Listen to this, my friends. The U.S. Treasury Department will advise the federal government to press forward on work to issue a digital dollar, though it should only take the final step if there is sign off that the government created tokens are in the national interest. Here it is now. One more. The question of national interest surrounds the CBDC. Red words underlined at the top. In the middle again, this national interest surrounds the Federal Reserve to create a central bank digital currency. Look at the statement now. Testimonies for the Church, Volume 5, yes, page 711. It says, my friends, a great crisis awaits the people of God. A crisis awaits the world. I'm simply going to read the red words underlined, then I'll come back to what I overlooked. Red words, the question of enforcing Sunday observance has become one of national interest and importance. Brothers and sisters, is that the nail in a sure place? Yes. Now, let me read what I omitted. Listen now, a great crisis awaits the people of God. A great crisis awaits the world. The most momentous struggle of all the ages is just before us. Events, which for more than 40 years we have upon the authority of the prophetic word declared to be impending are now taking place before our eyes. And this chapter in volume 5 is called the impending crisis, conflict. Already, that's it, friends. The question of enforcing Sunday observance has become one of national interest and importance. Let's read on. We will know what the result of this movement will be. Questions, 2 questions. But are we ready for the issue? Oh, friends, are we ready? Get ready. Remain ready. Get others ready. Your spouse, children, siblings, family members, church members, neighbors. Have we faithfully discharged the duty which God has committed to us of giving the people warning of the danger before them? Beloved, I have in my hand the book Maranatha, page 131. Headline, momentous struggle before us. It is the same reading from volume 5. Listen, it says, and the reason why I'm quoting from Maranatha is because of what Maranatha means. Come on, those of you who are alive, what does Maranatha mean? Listen, friends, just 2 paragraphs, and they're short. If popery or its principles shall again be legislated into power. Pause right there. That means Sunday worship by law. And what else? The CBDC, backed by popery. Oppressive economic system. Beloved, allow me. I don't like doing this. Allow me to insert one quick point. Look at the history of the Vatican's wealth. You will realize that it is the central banks who oversee the Vatican's wealth. I won't call that name right now. Okay, you know it. It begins with R, right? R. All right. And friends, that family, central banks, they're not in business to make us free, to make us wealthy, but to make us slaves and to make us paupers. Let me get back here. If popery or its principles, plural, shall again be what? Legislated into power, the fires of persecution will be rekindled against those who would not sacrifice conscience and the truth in deference to popular errors. This evil is on the point of realization. We're now seeing it, friends. Last paragraph. When God has given us light, showing the dangers before us, how can we stand clear in God's sight if we neglect to put forth every effort in our power to bring it before the people? If I were you, I would share this. Yes. text somebody, email, call somebody. How can we stand clear? Listen, last question. Can we be content to leave people to meet this momentous issue unwarned? My friends, what if somebody did not awaken you and share this truth with you? Where would you be? Lost, confused, bewildered, discombobulated, not spiritually sensible, like those in the world. It's selfishness, self-interest to keep this present, precious present true to ourselves. One day, the door of mercy will be shut. One day, the book of record will be shut. And the question is, how shall we stand? Have we used our God-given talents to remain awakened in the work of watching, praying, and working, the 3 watchwords, volume 2, page 283, and also assisting others? We will be found wanting. At this time, gospel vocal brothers, you know what? I almost forgot. Remember the upcoming training that I am going to put forth shortly. It's time to be trained. Aggressive, effective evangelism. Not because you are local here. In Georgia, Atlanta area, Marietta, or they're in the Orlando area. Or not because you aren't there. Wherever you are, there's something you can do for the Lord. Now, gospel vocal brothers will sing a very pointed, fitting song. And that is, it's time to rescue the perishing. Yes. It's time to care for the dying. Snatch them in pity from sin and the grave. Weep over the erring one. Lift up the fallen. Yeah, it's time. And what must we tell them? Stay tuned for the song. What must we tell them? Stay tuned for the song. And if you know it, sing along. And beloved, right now, as they are planning to have the entrepreneurial state, the entrepreneurial church and state union, what are we to be doing as God's people? Assisting individuals who are in need, literally, temporally in need, and spiritually in need. Fulfilling Isaiah chapter 58. Feeding the hungry, clothing the naked, sheltering the homeless, literally and spiritually. And that we hide not ourselves from our own flesh. Own flesh? Adam said, she's now flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone. Don't hide yourself from your own flesh, from humanity. Isaiah 58 and verse number 7. Don't be selfish. Here it is, friends. Acts chapter 2, verse 44, verse 45. And all that believed were together and had all things common, sold their possessions and goods, parted them to all men, as every man had need. As I always say, I'll say again, there is enough in the church for every man's need, but not enough for every man's greed. By the way, there is a sister and a brother I know of who are very skilled with the pen in poetry. One of these midday power surge sessions, midday power surge sessions. By God's grace, I'm going to invite them to share with you in God's presence those inspired poems. These are poems for pilgrims on this pilgrim journey. I'll give you one more before I close. Acts chapter 4. And by the way, I think they're live. Okay, Pastor. Yes, I see it. Okay. You stay tuned. I did not call your name because I want it to be a surprise. But you get yourself ready. Okay, friends, here it is. Acts chapter 4, verse 32. It says, and you can read that. Yes, friends. Neither said any of them aught of the things which he possessed was his own, but they had all things common. Now, were they being forced? No. They were not being forced to say, we own nothing. Come on. No. It was because of God's charity in their hearts that they freely gave. This must be our work right now, friends. And then the gospel, present truth, can be carried forward more effectively, blue words at the bottom, and distribution was made unto every man according as he had need. Having land, they sold it, brought the money, and laid it at the apostles' feet. Be careful. Make sure you're prayerful. Not every church, whether with the SDA conference or independent of the SDA conferences of churches, fit this bill. Fit the standard. Be prayerful. Fast and pray. And as God leads, you follow. Look at the people around you, especially, Paul says, especially those people who are of the household of faith. Galatians chapter 6 and verse number 10. I have given you what God laid upon my heart today. By God's grace, I'll see you tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Make it a date to meet Jesus. And don't be late. Send in your prayer request. Gospel Vocal Brothers, the microphone is yours.
Thank you for joining us for Midday Passage. We'll be singing a hymn titled Rescue the Perishing. We hope you are blessed.
Rescue the perishing, care for the dying, snatch them in pity from sin and the grave. Weep of the erring one, lift up the fallen, tell them of Jesus the mighty to save. Rescue the perishing, care for the dying. Jesus is merciful, Jesus will save. Rescue the perishing, duty demands it. Strength for the labor, the Lord will provide. Back to the narrow way, patiently win them. Tell the poor wanderer, a Savior has died. Rescue the perishing, care for the dying. Jesus is merciful, Jesus will save.
Amen.